remember in high school, my girlfriend at the time asked me to go for a hike. And she said, Brent, let's go for this hike and climb to this beautiful lake. I said, why would we hike to a lake when we can drive to a lake and take a boat on it? I was a jerk. But it was during university when I was diagnosed with schizophrenia, a terrible mental illness I don't wish on anyone, that I realized that the only thing I really felt like I could do was go hiking. And I got hooked. Right off the bat, about 2 months after my diagnosis, I said, I'm going to climb Mount Everest. Typical. The people around me said, Brent, we're trying to get back to reality here. Maybe set a goal, like get back to school. But they never told me I couldn't do it. And I started to realize on this journey of climbing bigger and bigger mountains that there's so much parallel between that and climbing out of a mental health struggle. The first thing I realized was you got to take a holistic approach. You got to look at the big picture. Because right off the bat, when I was diagnosed, I was focused so much on my mental illness symptoms, I was sort of slipping in other areas. I was drinking, I was eating fast food, I was smoking, I was getting overweight, out of shape. And I realized that I had to focus on my health, not just my mental health. So I started getting into building a support system, getting into things like smoothies. This is when I thought I was so smart, where I put wheatgrass in my smoothie and didn't realize I wasn't a cow with 5 stomachs to digest it. But I started getting into smarter smoothies with better, more attainable superfoods, and started getting into the outdoors. And as I realized, as I got into the outdoor sports and nutrition and wellness, my mental health improved. So by focusing on the holistic approach, the objective I had of positive mental health was achieved. And the same thing with mountaineering. You can't mountaineer every single weekend, and you need a lot of skills to mountaineer. So things like trail running to build fitness, backcountry camping, things like rock climbing that still terrify me today. Shaking my knees right there, probably more than I am right now. But through that holistic approach, I think that objective that you have, that specific objective, can be achieved. The next thing I realized was that this idea that society promotes that we have to avoid struggles at all costs is actually a myth. And that it's by enduring our struggles that's what strengthens us. It was that same girlfriend in high school, she invited me for a trail run. She was a good influence. And I went on my first trail run with her. I was so excited, I was keeping up with her on my bike. So I'm the most surprised person in this room to see myself running stairs with a weight vest. But I think it's through those challenges, those struggles that I endured during the mental health struggles that helped something like that be a little more attainable, helped something like this come true, crossing the finish line. Thank you. Of the 50K, of the 50-miler Squamish, getting a Gary Robbins bear hug, which feels real good. It allowed me to endure things like 20 days on Aconcagua, South America's highest peak, because what I realized was that as the pain of the struggle of the mental illness dissipated over time, I found myself pursuing struggles like mountain climbing because I realized that's what was creating strength. And there is the summit of Aconcagua, 23 or so thousand feet, saying mental health matters. So that was the result of being okay with the struggles and allowing it to strengthen us. The next thing I realized is that you gotta lead with trust. You gotta have faith in the people around you. You gotta have faith in your inner gut instinct, your intuition. Because without it, nothing is possible. This is my friend James Frystack. He's a Vancouver-based photographer, filmmaker. This is us getting some healthy food on our Denali expedition up in Alaska. And we were a team of 3 self-guided trying to climb North America's highest peak. And James and I met about a month before this process, this trip. And so we had to develop trust in each other very quickly. often our lives would be in each other's hands, and we had to have that faith in each other that we could trust each other and also have it in ourselves every step after precarious step of the journey. And because of that, we were rewarded with this beautiful summer day on the top of Denali. It's Clayton Matthews on the left as well, our other climbing partner. And again, what we realized was that through trusting each other, having faith in each other and ourselves, was what allowed us to have that result. And we celebrated. And we also celebrate our friendship that developed since, because now we're working on projects together, working on other climbing projects, video projects. And it was because we had that faith and trust in each other early on, and we developed that, and we led with trust, that's been possible. So really, these ideas can be applied to any challenge, and that every challenge is actually an opportunity to connect, to grow, to serve in some way. And that this idea also that society promotes to avoid challenges is also a myth, because it's through those challenges that the opportunities are on the other side of. So I still want to climb Mount Everest. Haven't done it yet. Me and James are trying to make that happen. If you guys want to help out, we're more than welcome to partner with you, collaborate with you. But most importantly, this is how you can get a hold and get in touch. But most importantly, what I hope you get out of this presentation is that whatever dream you're working on feels a little more attainable. Thank you very much.